You need guts.
Today we're in Dhaka, Bangladesh, speaking with female millennial entrepreneur Himika. We're so excited to hear about your journey from pre-entrepreneur to entrepreneur.
Thank you so much.
So where did it come? Where did it start?
Well, I never thought that I would be an entrepreneur. Trust me. And I never knew that I would be working in this domain unless 4 years back. Initially, as a child, I was a very nervous, shy person, uh, but I was very good in art, any form of art, music, painting, whatnot, debate. So that is sort of my initial interaction with people through art. And then I realized at some point I was not a shy person at all. I became a very expressive person. So I did study in media communications, and I realized that I'm very good with connecting with people, and I understand their talents very well. So I found my niche, my skill like that. So I worked in mostly development sector. When I was working, I was a job holder at that time. My grooming was done in UNDP actually. So a lot of campaigns that would have done, Millennium Development Goal campaigns, anti-corruption campaigns, and eventually, at some point, I realized that I have to grow. Then I started working in BBC, and that actually gave me a huge platform to experiment a lot of projects. Again, this wing of BBC where I worked as a deputy head of communications and marketing, but again I had a portfolio of project innovation. So we did a lot of social projects, a lot, and some of the projects are like globally award-winning projects, which is sort of a concept we developed among our very close group discussions. We all fought whether it would work or not, people will accept or not, whether people will be benefited out of it or not. So from the cultural part to the communication, to the development sector, and as a person, I was born in Grameen Bank. I was, we were having discussion about it previously. So yeah, that Grameen Bank grooming and the overall vision of how this country can grow further. This all came to in a place in 2009 when I realized, I have nothing more to achieve as a professional working in companies. Rather, this is a time that I should grow, I should feel that I am capable of something and I'm gifted, and I followed my heart. So that was the point, the living.
Do you remember the actual point? What was happening at that moment?
Absolutely. It was January 2009, and the project that I was telling you from BBC Janala. It's a mobile platform to give access to English as a language or content to people who doesn't have any access to contents to learn English. It was a huge success. I mean, millions and millions of people were downloading and listening contents. As a brand, it became something which we wanted to do. At some point, I was like, okay, now I know that people of Bangladesh can accept technology in their lives. And other beautiful projects were happening where people are using mobile as their tool, as a gateway to the resources. And so many other options were hitting me, which I could not do if I wanted to work there. So for 3 months, I took some projects as a project lead to experiment to see whether it works or not. So it was sort of the testing ground.
What were these projects?
Yeah, I want to mention one specific project. It was a first curated big time art project for a corporate. So again, where I found my, the original me and converting it to something meaningful. And we gave it a twist in that, because we invited 89 artists, young to seniors, top to very new ones, amateur artists. It's the biggest brand in Bangladesh called Phone. So Phone had a huge building done, their head office. It's a beautiful, very green architecture they have. So we sort of pitched as a group, like, it's a dead building for us. Why don't you give life to it so that the artist community get benefits out of it? Because it's very often that you get this kind of projects where artists can do experimental work. So we came up with the idea, like, let's explore identity. What is the identity of this country, of an artist, of Ramin Phone, and let's like do something. So it came out as a huge project. I mean, the biggest so far. And we have done installations, paintings, sculptures, a lot of things. It's a beautiful building right now. If you go, you will be like amazed to see. So started that way, and for a year. So in 2009, I started my company, Team Engine. But again, it was in a very startup mood, whether we were exploring what to do, what not to do. But at the same time, 18 hours a day, I was working on that project. So I was the first person to enter to the building and the last
Wow.
person to leave the building. It was a humongous job. So then I got to feel, okay, creative work, it is the time. Communication, this is the time. People are ready. Corporates are ready. It's now I have to act immediately. So Team Engine happened. We branded ourselves like we don't want to be really full-fledged profit-making company like anybody. I have respect to that, but again, if we want to contribute to the society or country or people, it is a social enterprise.
How do you define social enterprise? Because some people
Yeah,
define it as purely nonprofit,
yeah,
but I believe that a social enterprise
can be for profit as
can
well.
be for profit. In fact, I believe every company should
Have profit motive. Yes, that's a
yes.
So I have been doing this debate in Bangladesh for how many years. Uh, like Professor Yunus have given the social business definition, which is where you do work, but again, it's a non-profit. Your profit gets reinvested. You don't take the profit home. The shareholders doesn't. There is a no shareholder thing. But originally, for me, social enterprise is predominantly having an idea that I want to contribute that area that to these people, and you earn, but you earn less maybe. It's logical to earn money, and because you're contributing, but it's more sort of the environment, the project that you do, and what you get out of that from the market, and how you utilize that. So social enterprise for me is of course there's this non-profit definition and the for-profit definition. For Team Indian, it's a for-profit definition where we have our own mandates in the board. Like we take the pride that we of course we invest in our other projects, but we do take dividends or profit. But the environment that we give to our members, our employees, it's so much better than regular traditional business. And what we provide to the society through our projects, it's beautiful, because if you know about our projects, you will immediately feel like, okay, it's an NGO work, but why you are earning money? This is the reaction that I get. Then I say it's not NGO, it's a social enterprise for profit, but still we are doing the same work which a non-profit or NGO would do. So this is a new definition we are trying to promote, trying to inspire people that this is, you can still do the same work, but you have to earn money.